This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. Where you are right now is here with us on INCradio Virginia. It is Saturday, February 17 here in the East Coast of the United States and Sunday, February 18 in the Philippines. Before we continue, we would always like to give our special greetings to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and to our CFO Coordinator, SEBSI President and CEO, Brother Angelo Aranya Manalo. Thank you both for allowing us to have opportunities to connect with brethren all around the world through projects such as INCradio. To keep watching INCradio Virginia and other programs like this, you can do so by going to incradio.org. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel by searching INCradio DZEM 954. And if you're tuning in from the Philippines, you can listen to us on INCradio DZEM 954. I am Brother RJ Gabrantina from the local congregation of Chesapeake, Virginia, and thank you for joining us on our episode. Before we begin, this is your reminder to keep commenting in the live chat for our ongoing hashtag challenge here on INCradio Virginia. Comment with the hashtag symbol followed by your corresponding hashtag so we can see who is the most active and supportive local congregation in the District of Virginia. Let's find out the results from last week's episode. Here are the results of the INCradio Virginia hashtag challenge for the episode from February 10, 2024. For fifth place, it's the extension of Nashville, Tennessee. In fourth place, we have a tie between the extension of Cedar Bluff, Alabama, and the Jasper Group Worship Service. Coming in at third place, it's the local congregation of Huntsville, Alabama. In second place is the local congregation of Charlotte, North Carolina. And in first place is the local congregation of Macon, Georgia. Congratulations to all the winners. Who will win next week? Keep commenting in the live chat with your hashtag for a chance to appear on our leaderboards. Congratulations again to the local congregation of Macon for taking first place in our last week's episode for our hashtag challenge. Now let's move on to our CFO in Action segment to see what's going on in the District of Virginia.
CFO in Action.
Last week, there was a special presentation broadcasted live. INCRadio, an INCradio photo exhibit, musical, and awards 2024. This was in commemoration of the 55th anniversary of the Christian Era Broadcasting Services International, or SEBSI. For the awards, our district's own Brother Andrew Wynn was nominated for Best Host for his help in INCradio's Little Lambs program. Happy 55th anniversary to SEBSI. To share in the greetings, we have a special message from our district supervising minister, Brother Esteban Inocencio Jr.
We would like to greet the Christian Era Broadcasting Service International, or SEBSI. Happy 55th anniversary. It is our prayer that the Almighty God will continue to guide and be with the SEBSI, the members of the SEBSI, and continue as well in your many endeavors for the iglesianicristo, for the Church of Christ. Happy 55th anniversary.
CFO in Action.
This past Sunday, there was a special gathering of all members of the Society of Communicators and Networkers, or SCAN, as well as the Christian Medical, Dental, and Paramedical Society, or CMDPS. This was in commemoration of SCAN's 35th anniversary and the 5th anniversary of the CMDPS. The gathering was led by our district supervising minister, Brother Esteban Inocencio Jr.
CFO in action.
Tomorrow, February 18, there will be a special gathering of all deacons, deaconesses, overseers, and all their families. This will be held at 5 p.m., with the main site being at the Virginia Beach Chapel, while all other sites will meet in their respective houses of worship.
CFO in action.
So that is what's going on in the District of Virginia. We want to say a happy anniversary again to the SCAN organization as well as the CMDPS. But now let's continue on with our episode as we have two guests here with us. Our topic for today is competing in sports, and we have two young members of the church who actually compete in various different sports that we're going to introduce right now. So let's start with our brother. Please introduce yourself, your local, and any offices that you have as well.
Hello, I'm Brother J. Custodio. I'm from the locale of Chesapeake, and I'm a CWS choir member and Binhi president.
Thank you for joining us, Brother Jamar. And our sister, same thing. Introduce yourself, name, local, and offices.
I'm Sister Aubrey. I'm in the locale Virginia Beach, and I'm my locale's secretary.
Nice. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming and talking with us today. I know both of you are actually very active in sports, and that's actually why I reached out to both of you, because I thought you would be very good to speak on these topics. So what sport do you compete in, and how, all those questions, did you find interest in them? Let's start with you, Brother Jamar.
The sport I compete in wrestling. I first started when I was in 7th grade because of my oldest brother who started wrestling. So I've only been doing wrestling for about 2 years now. And I started when my oldest brother started, and I've kept competing since then.
Yeah, it's like a whole family affair for you guys now, because I know your whole family, even from your youngest brother. How old is he again?
He's 9.
9, even though he's 9 years old, and he's been doing it for a while too. I'm pretty sure he could beat me up. But it's really cool to see you guys doing it all together. Sister Aubrey, what sport do you compete in? When did it start? How did you find interest? I think it's kind of the similar situation almost with Brother Jamar.
So I play volleyball. I've been playing it competitively for around 7 years because I started club back when I was 10. And I started playing because, of course, my parents.
Nice, yeah. I had a feeling that it was the same situation because I know your parents as well. They were both very into volleyball, very good at volleyball, and it was only natural that it would come down to you as well. Does your little sister play as well, or no?
She hasn't really started it, but I think she's just trying to find interest in other sports if she really wants to go into volleyball first.
Sure, and that's fine. By all means, you don't have to follow this thing of your family going on, but it'd be nice. You're gonna go do 2-on-2, right? Anyway, now when it comes to this, you guys have both been playing and competing. Well, I was gonna say competing competitively, but of course that comes without saying. Do you guys play for your schools? Do you guys play locally, like in recs or anything like that? And have you ever won any accolades or trophies so far in your time competing? With Jamar, let's start with you.
I compete both individually, like just outside of school, just other tournaments, just outside, and also right now in school season. Any accolades I've won the middle school city championship. I qualified for state this year, regional placer, and with my team, we won the regional championship.
Nice. Congratulations. So many accolades already. And you said you've done this for how many years now?
2 years.
2 years and already gaining so many things here. That's really awesome. Actually, I was gonna say I watched you wrestle, but I only watched your brother wrestle. I haven't gotten a chance to watch you, but I'm gonna have to if you're making all these getting all these trophies and awards and stuff. Aubrey, what about you? Do you play for your school or do you play locally or both? And then what accolades have you won already?
I play for school and for travel. And accolades I've won, I got in for school a leadership award and captain's award. And then for travel ball, we've won various first, second, and third place. medals and trophies.
Nice. Congratulations. What is the you said captain's award and what was the other one?
Captain and leadership award.
Okay. So it's that are you the team captain?
Just this year. Last year I got leadership award, and this year I got the captain's award.
Is there a difference between the two? Sorry, I don't mean to ask so many
I
questions.
don't. I'm
I
honestly
never
not
knew.
sure. I guess I just showed leadership last year, and then I guess this year I stepped up as captain. So
Nice. Okay. Well, great job for both of you having so many awards already. You guys are doing a great job, and I already see it because I see your families. What's it called? Not necessarily showing you off, but of course they're proud of you. So I always see like them sharing what you've accomplished and everything like that. So it's really cool. Um, when it comes to getting those accolades and being successful, what kind of training goes into that? What because a lot of people they see, right? They see the award ceremony. They don't see everything that goes into that, and even before the game itself. What kind of training goes into being successful for you guys? What is it? What is it for you? Let's go to the first, Sister Aubrey. Let's ask you what kind of training do you have to go through?
I think for me the most important training that happened for volleyball was like every other sport, mental training, because sports are really draining and tiring. So of course you have to train your mind, but also train your body to be healthy and make sure you're fit and working out, because sports can really just beat your body up and you have to be ready for that.
And then because I mean we will get to this with J Mark, but Aubrey, yours is obviously more known as a team sport. What kind of things can you say in going like training with your team, and like how does that impact how you go into the game?
I think it's really important that, you just have to support each other when you're doing team sports, because you might not like them on off the court, but on the court you have to work together, because the whole point of the game is to win the game, and you can't do that individually.
Very well said. Yeah, it's all about teamwork, and sometimes you have to put differences aside to get the goal, right? So Jamar, because I kind of said there, like you even said it earlier too, that your team has won accolades before. I think one thing that I never knew before I watched your brother wrestle was I didn't know that it was a team sport. Uh, can you kind of explain wrestling and how the team aspect of it all?
The team aspect of it. So, it's different in a school meet. So, a school meet's like a school versus another school, and like in a tournament sense. So, in a school meet, your team has to be good top to bottom. Even though it is still team sport, it's also I feel like it's, in my opinion, it's more of an individual sport. Like, it's you versus that other person on the mat, whoever it is. So you just have to, you can't blame anyone else on your losses or anything. But working as a team, that starts in the practice room, pushing each other, trying to get better, like actually drilling properly, training properly, eating properly, because weight is also a very important thing in our sport. And in tournaments, it's also like just like uplifting each other after a hard loss. Like, hey, wrestle back for third place. Get those team points for us so we can win the tournament.
Right. Yeah. Because you're right. It is individual sport in sense of like that moment. But correct me if I'm wrong too, because the way I understood it was like based off of one. Is it a match when it's the one-on-one? Is that the match?
Mm-hmm.
And then so one match, whoever wins that would get like a point towards their team, and then the following weight classes will then try to get points for each, like whoever wins the most matches, kind of thing. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of. It's like whoever could win more points, because
Oh, okay.
how you win is how you get points. Like a regular win is 3 points, major win is um 4 points, a technical fall, which is like winning by more than 15 points, is 5 points, and a pin is 6 points. So just racking up those points, trying to get those bonus points.
Okay, so it's not just who won that particular match, but also how the points they accumulated within that match.
Yes.
Okay, so but back to the question that we asked before. What kind of training goes into being successful? You had already mentioned like weight class and everything like that too. Does that and eating right? I know that that goes into your training, but what other kind of things go into your training?
I mean, it's just like Aubrey said, like the mental part of it, because like it's you versus the other person, so you have to be mentally right. You can't be nervous, and even if you are nervous, you have to stay smart and stay in the match. So it's a lot of mental training. It's a lot of conditioning because wrestling is obviously very tired. Any sport is very tiring. So getting that conditioning up, getting the strength up, and for me personally, I love going over technique because technique could win a match over strength. So just going over that technique, going over the little things, and the mental side of it. That's how I train.
Nice. Yeah. Because a lot of people can think, "Oh, I'm strong and I'm going to win," but it's how you use the strength too. That's how you can overcome even a bigger opponent. Um, but speaking about that, like kind of challenges of like who you're facing, maybe they're bigger, maybe they're older or whatever. What is the biggest challenge that you face in your sport, whether it is an opponent or maybe it's overcoming, like maybe if you've ever had an injury before. Have you ever had injuries before? Brother Jamar, yours is very physical. Have you ever had an injury?
I've broken my arm. I've broken my arm before, but not in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu, which is another sport I compete in, which is basically like wrestling. I broke my arm before. I sprained my knee during a match. So that's really it.
Oh wow,
No huge injuries.
gotcha. And okay, so was that one of the biggest challenges you've ever faced, getting injured, or what other kind of challenges have you faced before?
I mean, I know going into the sport, injury is a part of it. And so I feel like I've trained mentally enough to the point where that didn't affect me too much. Of course, getting back in after the injury is pretty hard. Like, oh, what if I do this again? Like, that's the hardest part. But after a while, it gets easier. But I think for me, the biggest challenge I face in my sport is just the balance of everything. School, my sport, and church, and how many offices, how active we are in the church. Staying all of that at like a high level and keeping all of it at a high level is very hard to do. I feel like that's the biggest challenge I face.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I already know a lot of people, especially your age and Aubrey's age, that, with school going on and church, it's already tough as it is. But then you add on sports and extracurriculars, and it's even more stuff. But I already know for yourself, and I'm sure with I only know specifically for J because he's in my local, that you do balance it well. You are able to still perform. So kudos to you on that, and praise be to God for that as well. Aubrey, what about you? What's the biggest challenges that you've well, also have you, it's not as physical as Jmar's sport, obviously, but have you ever had any injuries in your sport?
So probably so like 3 years ago, I had a mild concussion.
Oh, really?
Yes, me and a teammate ran into each other, and she knocked me into a wall, and then I blacked out. I sprained my wrist during high school season, and I had a couple, just a lot of bruises. Nothing too bad, like breaking my arm, like James.
Okay, wow, that's first of all, I'm glad both of you are okay. That's pretty wild to have those injuries, big or small. But okay, what challenges have you faced, or the biggest challenges that you face in volleyball?
I think similar to Jamar, I mean, balancing church, school, and sports in general is really tough, especially being a young teenager. I mean, you're facing like changes as a person, and even at school and at church, and during like even in your sport. So I feel like all those together, it really impacts someone mentally, and I feel like that happened to me too. But as long as I just keep on praying, I feel like I can find ways to work around these challenges.
For sure. And would you both say that, of course, being active in church, has that helped you in, whether it's the way we are already disciplined with our offices and things like that? Has that helped you in your sport as well? Um, Jamar, what do you think? Do you think being a member of the church has helped you also in your sport?
I feel like it's definitely helped a ton, staying like church has helped me stay disciplined in like, actively going to things, actively going to these activities, actively going to worship service. So, staying with my sport, it's helped me stay disciplined in what I do, how I train, and how I act.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Aubrey, what do you think? Would you be able to add on to that? How has church helped you in your sport?
So when volleyball or school gets really tough, I mean, I find church as like a nice calm place to just relax and take a break from everything. So I feel like that's where church comes into place.
So turning away from the challenges and like I don't want to say negative part of the sport, but let's move more now to more positive things. What's your favorite thing about your sport? If someone to say, "Why are you wrestling?" or Aubrey, "Why are you playing volleyball?" What is your biggest answer? What's your favorite thing about it? Aubrey, what's your favorite thing?
Oh, it's kind of hard. I feel like for volleyball, it's just that feeling of like just having fun because I'm playing well and my team is playing well because we're all doing what we're supposed to do. I feel like that's really what makes it fun. And then also it's I don't know, it's just been in my life so much that it feels like a common positive in my life.
That's true. It has been there your whole life, literally. Like even before you were born, your parents were playing volleyball, so it is really your life. Um, that is nice to know that your favorite part is. I guess what you'd say, like the it is the competitive nature and also the camaraderie that you have with your teammates. Would you say that that's part of it?
Yes, I feel like, also just making that connection with other people because volleyball is like you said, volleyball involves a lot of teamwork. So, and when I came into volleyball at first, I was never an extrovert. I never found myself talking that loud, and I felt like volleyball really brought that part out of me.
Nice. I'm glad it's helped you in that sense as well, not just the physical part, but even your character. So Jamar, what about you? What's your favorite part about wrestling?
I think my favorite part is definitely, just reaping the rewards of my training, of definitely like trying to get to that top spot and, just seeing your teammates succeed. Because there are like a lot of practices where it's just hard and it's like, I should probably quit right now. But, finally seeing everything come to fruition and be like, oh, we're here now. Like we're actually at the top. Like, after we won regionals, it was we were all very happy. It's all just like, hey, we did it. Like after all this training, we did it. Even though there's still one more tournament to go and stuff, we did it. But I think that's definitely the best part of my sport. Just everything coming to fruition after training very hard.
That's a great feeling, especially when you have others that you've gone through the trenches with, so to speak, of the rough training. Because I've seen I got to visit your dad's what's it called? I guess garage or not? Yeah, you
The
guys,
gym.
your what was that?
His gym. Yeah, the
Yeah,
gym.
his gym. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And I got to see how they train. And I'm like, oh my, this is I could never. I don't think I could at least. But it is interesting and it does require a lot of hard work. And I'm glad you always get to see that hard work pay off. So kind of in the same realm here, because Aubrey, we mentioned that it kind of helped your character, it kind of helped you be more outgoing, so to speak. But if not that, what is the biggest life lesson you've learned from competing? Aubrey, let's go to you first.
So I feel like the biggest life lesson was that I really need to place church first because my tournaments, they're far out. And so finding a place of worship is really hard. But I know that in order to compete first, I have to attend a worship service. That way I have that, guidance with me for the rest of the weekend.
Very well said. Yeah, because I'm sure all of you know, or both of you know, and even all of our viewers watching know that all success, whatever it may be, sports, school, work, whatever, it all comes from God. So I'm very glad to hear that you recognize that we need to put the church first, because that then everything else will follow right after, right? And it always seems to be that way, and that's no coincidence. So Jamar, what is your biggest life lesson that you've learned from competing in wrestling?
I think it's just like sticking with it and not quitting because always have coaches like just yelling in your ears like stay with that, keep going, like actually finish that. Just like staying through and finishing it just like 100% and not giving up. That's like definitely the biggest lesson that stuck with me throughout these 2 years of wrestling. And that applies in everything in church, in school, and of course in wrestling.
I'm sure sometimes, I think not even just in wrestling, I'm sure, maybe Aubrey, you've had some coaches like that too, or even outside of sports, you've had, it almost feels like pressure to perform. But I'm glad that you have that, tenacity to keep going and to not give up. And I hope that applies to all aspects of your lives, not just in sports, because it's a very good quality to have. Thank you so much for joining us again, being on this episode of INC Radio and talking about your sports, what it takes to be successful, what it takes to enjoy it, and what's your favorite part about it. I've enjoyed everything, and I want to say I'm very proud of you both. Like I already said, I know both of your families, but I've also known both of you since you were like this small. So seeing you guys compete, succeeding is always really nice to see. So I'm very proud of you both, and I'm sure your families are too. So thank you again for joining us. And before we close out, I want to give the opportunity for you all to give shout outs to anyone, your family, friends, maybe teammates if you want, by all means. Jamar, do you have any shout outs?
I'd like to shout out my parents, definitely my brother. Thank you for introducing me to wrestling. My teammates and my coaches who have helped me throughout the season, and yeah, that's really it.
All right. And Aubrey, do you have any shout outs?
I would like to shout out my parents because they always bring me to these tournaments, no matter how far or how hard it is. And then my teammates and my coaches who continue to make me get better.
All right, so thank you once again for joining us, and thank you all of you watching INC Radio Virginia in our live chat. Before we close out, of course, we want to give our special greetings to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our CFO Coordinator and SEPSI President and CEO, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, our District Minister, Brother Steve Inocencio, our Assistant District Minister, Brother June Hernandez, our District CFO Overseer, Brother Melvin Bayangoan, our District Multimedia Advisor, Brother Denzel Van Malapit, our Station Manager, Brother Arno Solano, our executive producer, Brother Manly Andaya, our Kuya Tex, and all of our INC Radio family, and of course, to all of you watching and supporting INC Radio Virginia. We'll see you next week, but for now, keep tuning in for INC Radio Seattle. Thank you again for watching.
Narito ang ilang butil ng katotohanan mula sa banal na kasulatan.
Sa Kawikaan 4:7 hanggang 8 ay ganito ang isinasaad. Unahin mo sa lahat pagtuklas ng kaalaman. Ito'y pilit